Skunk Fu was an Irish-British cartoon that aired May 28, 2007, and it's the Kung Fu Panda ripoff you likely never heard of, possibly because it came out 1 year before Kung Fu Panda. Skunk Fu is about the lessons learned by a skunk named Skunk and a panda named Panda. Alright, for real. Skunk apparently was dropped off in China by a stork as a response to a prayer. Weird response to a prayer. Dragon, the former hero of the valley, now turned villain, trapped in the mountains, was causing a lot of ruckus when Skunk was delivered in China to Panda. Panda now teaches Skunk Kung Fu and life lessons about the world. Also, Panda and Dragon used to be besties, but now one of them is on some destroy the world ambition. Think of it like Naruto and Sasuke type shit. And Panda believes Skunk to be the heavenly warrior sent to save the world on some Avatar the Last Airbender type shit. I would have never thought a show that looked and sounded like this would have that intense of a backstory.
Can I play too, punks? I'm tougher than any rock.
A big portion of the earlier episodes is focused on communicating simple lessons to the audience through Skunk's experience and screw-ups. Also, if you're ever wondering what a character's name might be in this series, just look at what they are, and your guess will probably be right. Hey, I'm not in the show. Here we see squabbles between the Panda Gang and the Dungeon Dragon Gang. On the Panda side, we got a bunch of different animals, but the main ones are Skunk, Panda, Rabbit, Fox, Bird, Ox, and Tiger. Skunk is the protege, Panda is the master. Rabbit is probably Panda's first student, but doesn't learn under him anymore, but still works alongside him to fight Monkey Butt. Rabbit is also kind of an older brother figure to Skunk. We also have Fox, who is used as a love interest for both Rabbit and Skunk. She's cool, laid back, and usually the most level-headed. She's the girl in the group, or as TVTropes.org describes it, she's a current victim of the Smurfette principle. This principle, my dear viewers, is when the cast of a cartoon gang has exactly one girl in the group. You know how they usually get treated in shows like this. No personality at all really, and usually just a potential love interest. One feature that usually stays consistent is they're smarter than the annoying boys. In this example, Skunk and Rabbit. Bird and Ox are a package deal, a group of slackers who just hang out in the valley. Ox has a technique that we'll be learning about in one of the episodes I have in mind to discuss, but that ability is more of a happy accident than a skill he worked hard to perfect. Lastly, we have Tiger, who is the coward of the group despite the mass of this guy. He's British, I think, or something.
I risked my life for fruit.
What on earth?
My word! What proper gent would even think of having punch at tea time?
He doesn't quite talk like the rest and has a distinctly different personality in comparison to everybody. Mainly because the rest love to get their hands dirty, especially Rabbit.
Someone wants revenge? Cool!
On the dragon side, we got Dragon, the old hero turned bad guy who is trapped in the mountains. He gives most of his orders to Baboon, who is this hack of a military leader.
Yes, master. We'll pick those plums and bring them to you to eat and enjoy. You two are mine. Hey, is that all you got? I'm gonna go now.
I have a quick question for you guys. Which do you think is more expensive to take care of and keep happy? A flying monkey army or a ninja monkey army? Just something to think about. Together, these three cause chaos in the valley, hoping to, I don't know, murder Panda? I don't really know what the end goal is. Maybe to spread bad vibes like globally? That's an audacious endeavor, but this team of go-getters seems like they can do it. So today, we'll be checking out some of the early episodes of Skunk Fu to figure out what lessons this old panda is actually teaching. It's time to see if this old bear is even qualified to be a martial arts master, and see if this is anything like Kung Fu Panda. But first, a cranking intro from Wu-Tang's very own Ghostface Killer. Yeah, for real.
Long time ago, Dragon protected the valley, but was punished by heaven for his arrogance. He blamed us. Now, trapped in his icy prison, he plots to destroy us. Our only hope might be my pupil Skunk.
Yo, Skunk
Fu, balancing the earths and the heavens with an old wise panda and a whole pack of brethren. Rabbit, fox, pig, snake, and killer bees. Duck, crane, tiger fighting off ninja monkeys and baboons. That evil dragon won't prevail over young skunk skills and an old stink tail. Defender of the valley from the dragon in the lake. Use your mind, body, and soul to fly as you meditate. The yin, the yang, the shadow boxing technique. The monkey flip tiger style train to defeat. Disappeared with the teleportation in the trees. This is Kung Fu, mastered by infinite degrees. With an army of the animals created by God. Supernatural, believe in the sun, moon, and stars. Lead the resistance, not just do as they think. Is if you smell something funny, that skunk's letting off stinkers.
Skunk Fu, rocking that Fu Manchu, learning how to defend like the rest of his crew. Slap a ninja monkey, learn all type of techniques. Train that old stink tail and watch how it
See your ghost. Welcome to the Spartan warring where the killer bees sleep till it's time for the swarming. We sparring, skunks like the monks of the Shaolin Temple who fight never run. It's fire, water, stone, rocks, and earth. 5 elements deep like the ox and the bird. You heard? Banner swing, flame swords and darts, but make sure the kids stay good in the heart. And if by any chance things get adrift, drop at the whiff of a steak. I'm fighting 6 ninja monkeys is easy. Ask the fox if you do not believe me. Defeat me, you wild and resistance. We fight old baboon and the dragon. So listen to Master the Panda. His grandma's Kung Fu and Tung Fu. The way you swing daggers, he loves you.
Skunk Fu, rocking that Fu Manchu, learning how to defend like the rest of his crew. Slap a ninja monkey, learn all type of techniques. Train that old stink tail and watch how it reeks.
Alright, so we start the episode out with Skunk meditating, something you won't often see him doing without being told to. He's then rudely interrupted from this to go and do push-ups. And I'm not an expert on martial arts masters, but the last thing you want to do is make them wait, or worse, have to seek you out to do something they said. Something about not wanting to upset a person trained in a deadly form of combat. Whatever, Skunk doesn't feel the same way, instead hiding out in this tree. Although he gets a little carried away with his celebration and falls off.
No push-ups, no pain means no gain, and I'm okay with that. Ow, splinter, ow.
Hitting every single branch he can. He then runs off a cliff too.
Ow, rock, ow, rock, ow, rock.
At the bottom of this canyon, he falls out of an apple tree. He then gets a first-hand account of how Newton learned about gravity.
Ow, apple, ow, apple, ow. Oh, yeah!
Rabbit is also near the tree and tells Skunk to follow him. He was apparently returning to the valley after scoping out some monkeys playing whack-a-mole, but without the moles.
Wow, they really hate that grass.
Rabbit chops this up to some
kind of stupid monkey game.
with the mentality of punch first and ask questions later. Rabbit jumps in and immediately starts shit-talking.
Can I play too, punks? I'm tougher than any rock. Just try to crack me open. See, you guys brought
Someone
a
could have
small
hurled a
army
hammer
today.
at his head by
Well,
now.
I brought 2 armies. My left army and my right army. And don't come back.
Skunk is completely blown away by this technique. Fighting without fighting, or as Rabbit puts it,
That was the art of attitude.
You gotta teach me.
Sorry, kid.
However, Rabbit's not a teacher. He's more of a jumper, a bouncer, a hopper. Skunk, however, knows this trick of holding out on secrets till you prove yourself worthy or mature enough to learn from them. Martial arts is all about that. And the way around that is reverse psychology and subliminal messaging. See if you can pick up on the stroke of Kung Fu genius displayed right here.
Yeah, I understand. You probably, couldn't teach me anyhow.
Well, actually, I could if I wanted to.
I don't know. It's a master kung fu skill. Only a master could teach it. A real masterly master kind of mask.
No, I could do it, Squirt. Besides, it couldn't hurt to toughen you up.
Anyway, Rabbit falls for it, hook, line, and sinker. So the first lesson deals with the attire. And I agree, to be tough, you gotta look tough. That's why in Michael Jackson's Bad video, he wore leather and chains and stuff, to offset his funky fresh moves and crotch grabs, which can still make you look tough, just isn't as universal as leather and chains. So then we get to see these two in their tough outfits. And I didn't realize they were naked most of the time till they put clothes on. Why don't they always have these on? And why does Rabbit think that dressing like a rapper in the 80s who doesn't own pants would be scarier than fighting someone naked? I know which one I'd be more afraid of. Although, imagining a real life bunny in tough streetwear, it would be adorable. For Skunk, not so much. I'm curious about what stereotype design Skunk is portraying. Is this the typical outfit of a fashionably disabled person? This is not to be confused with fashion for the disabled. We should totally be more accepting and open to alteration to make clothing more accessible to the disabled members of our community. Being fashionably disabled means having the inability to create a cohesive yet fashionable outfit, meaning a blind person could pick a better looking outfit than you. Do you see what I mean now? The rabbit growls like a tiger, obviously.
Enemy shivers in fear. Try it.
And Skunk growls from his ass. Next we see Skunk growl from his mouth, like a baby cat. Then he growls like a fully grown lion, obviously. He also then makes the face of a person on their third day of a meth binge. We move on from this to weight training. Rabbit suggests carrying weights and puffing out your chest to look more intimidating.
To walk with attitude, puff your chest out and carry heavy weights to show your strength.
Why is he beating around the bush? Just tell Skunk to get jacked to be more intimidating. If I saw a skunk with a six-pack, I'd run my ass in the opposite direction. This thing is not only a chemical bomb waiting to blow, but now lifts more than me.
Squirt?
Next, we get the tough talk lesson. Rabbit gives a Schwarzenegger impression and is told just to speak loud. And this, I have to agree with. If you talk like Arnie, are built like Arnie, and speak loud enough, some dummy will believe you have something worthwhile to say, despite the fact that you're just some meathead babbling. And there's tons of people doing that. I mean, I'm doing it right now.
I'm going to put you monkeys in a barrel of pain.
Be loud, loud means angry.
I'm going to blind you bananas with my fist. You go ape for my roundhouse kick. I eat chips like you for breakfast.
Presentation is like half the battle. If you look like you know what you're talking about and sound confident, you can definitely fool some people. A lot of people aren't willing to look into the facts. Hell, George Santos just got into office and lied about practically everything in his life, and he didn't even need to sound like Arnie. We get some good old knuckle cracking to prove your toughness. Nothing says I'm gonna fuck you up like popping some nitrogen bubbles.
Not bad.
Rabbit then gives this great advice.
But if you can crack something the enemy can't, you'll be victorious.
What do you think Rabbit is gonna crack? Yeah, that's horrifying. Can Skunk even top that? Yeah, he can. It's not as visceral, but it's just as gross.
Whoa! I've never seen anyone do that before.
Glad Skunk is off the meth and moved to cracking. Rabbit loves this new upgrade of Skunks, but he catches himself before he gives too much of a sincere compliment.
Make that your secret weapon and you'll win for sure. I mean, that was okay, Squirt.
Fellas, is it gay to compliment your homie's cracking abilities? Skunk heads off and is trying to avoid Panda when suddenly this clumsy bear sneaks up on him. How did an animal like this surprise you? Also, Panda, you might want to watch yourself. Skunks aren't typically the best animals to surprise.
Why train when I can do this? Now, out of my way!
Skunk, you really must stop. You can't do that forever.
Yes, I can.
See, even the strongest warriors need oxygen.
Skunk shows off his new technique and Panda gives some great advice. Meanwhile, Skunk is playing chess with a toad. A toad that is not using his hands to play the game, but instead using his feet. And I don't know if I can play chess with an amphibian that uses his toes to move the pieces. And since Skunk lost, he decides to flex. Toad just watches, enamored. I guess that's what he's doing. I don't know what this look really means. I mean, it doesn't really matter to him. He already won. I guess this is just how Skunk is going to be handling his problems from here on out. Because now we're at a beehive where Skunk, of all people, is criticizing their color scheme and threatening to kick their ass.
Yo, bees! Black and yellow ain't working for you. How about I make you black and blue? Buzz? Huh. Nice comeback.
I thought they were gonna sting him or something, but they take the criticism in stride. Talk about being the bigger person.
What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity back bumper. What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity back bumper. Bump to the bump to the bump to the bass. Bump to the bump to the bumper. Bump to the bump to the bump to the bass. Bump to the bump to the bumper.
Yo, man, he's right. Black and yellow does make me look big. Man, I told you, stripes ain't your thing.
Skunk walks over to the tiger and threatens him during tea time. The threat goes right over his head, and that's probably for the best.
Hey, how about some punch?
My word! What proper gent would even think of having punch at tea time?
Skunk then scares these two while they're sleeping. Definitely the most evil of his actions thus far. Think about it. You finally got to sleep in the middle of the day. You've been busy all week with errands and chores that a fat lazy panda has made you keep up with. But this is the one day you have off, so you doze off for a little on your favorite mountain. You're dreaming about a place made of ice cream and chocolate, and there are 3 people there. There's a boy who has a fin on his back and sharp teeth. A girl with pink fluorescent hair who smells like a campfire without the s'mores, and some annoying kid. It's blissful, yet chaotic, yet nostalgic. Also, George Lopez is there, and then boom!
Wake up, punks! You're about to get knocked out!
Yeah, Skunk left his friends. Emphasis on friends in these conditions. He's a psychotic meathead now. Skunk returns over to Rabbit's burrow, where Rabbit gives him probably the most important advice that is just glossed over.
Don't get cocky.
This is then interrupted by an earthquake. This isn't a natural shock. It's from the monkeys slamming their hammers into the ground. The small group of monkeys is so strong, they were able to split apart the ground with just hammers. That's insane. If only they had good leadership. Rabbit is about to fall into lava and tells Skunk to stop the invasion and the end of the world.
No, you gotta stop those monkeys. Use the tube, Squirt. Use the tube.
Skunk puts on this tough guy impression and scares off the ninja monkeys, leaving him and Baboon to face off. It's like a Dragon Ball Z battle without the fighting, and only the power-up screens. They both inflate themselves until one of them needs air. This is how bouts in nature are handled, you guys. This is a lesson for us all. This is like National Geographic.
So, the skunk thinks he's tough. Ha! I challenge you!
No, I challenge you!
I challenge your challenge!
And I challenge your challenge on my challenge with a challenge!
See? Even the strongest warriors need oxygen.
If only I listened to Panda.
Though Skunk was bested in the first round, he still can use his ultimate weapon.
Make that your secret weapon and you'll win for sure. I mean, that was okay, Squirt.
But it's not as cool as he thought it would be, because Baboon can do the same thing too, which is like the exact thing necessary for this technique to work.
Is that your big finish?
However, there's one more trick up his sleeve, and this one's gross, you guys.
Just this?
I I'd do the same. I'd be running out of there. Anyway, the day is saved, and it's a good thing Panda was here to reprimand everyone, instead of helping with the situation, as a good Kung Fu master does. The volley was about to be eviscerated, and he was just sitting up here, working on the lecture he would have prepared for his students when they returned, if they returned. He's one of them old school masters.
Rabbit, you taught Skunk an art he was not prepared for. And Skunk, you missed many of our lessons. You have both disrespected me.
It won't happen again, Panda.
Good. Now both of you, give me 100 push-ups.
Yeah, right. 100 push-ups. You can't be serious.
I am serious.
So we start this episode by watching Panda and Skunk training. Skunk isn't really focusing on mastering skills because he's focused on
The green tea cake I've got stashed at home. I can't wait to eat it.
I understand it, but eating the menu may be a little excessive. We find out that this cake is actually gifted to the warrior who shows the most skill. We then get a flashback to Skunk showing off said skills. Skills gone wrong is a better description. Except his poisoning of everyone else actually allows him to win the cake. I mean, it's not like they're dead, they'll be fine after an hour or two. But because he used his art, he gets to win the whole competition. This whole thing was rigged.
A winner by default. Skunk.
Panda tries to stop Skunk from getting distracted by the prize instead of focusing on working towards it. However, Skunk does this in the midst of constructive criticism.
Punch!
Huh?
Punch!
Munch! Munch!
Now, you must master the skill of concentrating on the task before you. Thus concludes our lesson for today.
Later in the woods, Skunk is robbed of the cake he had been looking forward to all this time. Looks like he already won this prize and that flashback wasn't from so long ago. The ninja monkeys steal his cake, and when trying to get it back, Skunk gives them one warning.
Just back off now and nobody gets hurt.
Then, they do this. Skunk, furious, vows to get them back for this. Rabbit, being the maniacal mad bunny he is, hears the words revenge and instantly shows up to assist. This is probably just a normal attitude for rabbits. They're probably all like this, waiting to aid in a crusade for vengeance.
Someone wants revenge? Cool! Hey, what's this I hear about revenge? Who wants revenge?
Skunk decides to go John Wick on these monkeys because this was deeper than just robbing a green tea cake or stealing any old item from him. This was something he won through skill, charm, and ingenuity.
A winner by default. Skunk.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard!
Skunk heads off towards the ice mountain area of the valley, where Rabbit tries to talk Skunk down from pursuing this act of vengeance.
You can have my honey-dipped mango slices instead!
Those aren't my green tea cakes! There's never ever gonna be another one like it!
Of course there will! There's a million other green tea cakes out there just like it! This is crazy! Let's go back!
You go back!
They move through several more biomes where Rabbit still tags along, partially due to his want to help Skunk out, partially because he loves enacting revenge on any and everybody who deserves it. I can respect that.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard! This is about the board-breaking contest, then fine! You were the winner, even though you weren't. Are you happy?
Oh, green tea cake.
Huh?
I'll make that chimp pay for what he did to you.
Hey!
After chasing the ninja monkeys all day, the duo decide to take a rest and look for some firewood. Skunk makes the astute observation that they don't have any wood, or an axe, or the supplies to make an axe.
We could use a fire. Chop us some wood, huh?
How?
Just punch a tree, dumbass, if you need those items. Then use your crafting table. Use your brain. Rabbit, being the only one using his thinking organ, uses the skill of reverse psychology and subliminals, and gets Skunk to get them some firewood.
That tree right there. Kinda looks like the monkey that squashed your green tea cake, don't it? He's laughing at you, Skunky. Laughing at your pain.
This works twice.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
That night, Skunk has nightmares of the food he lost, and he can't stay idle. He needs to show those monkeys his belongings aren't something to be trifled with.
No more monkey business.
Next, we pan over to the woods, where the monkeys are talking about the story of the squash cake. And isn't it weird that only the monkeys don't speak English, but all the other animals do? Skunk is watching from afar when Rabbit stumbles over. Skunk runs into the fray and starts to fight with them. Rabbit has his back. I mean, this is what he's been looking forward to all this time. Skunk's eyes are only on the one that stole from him. The fight goes poorly.
What are you doing? Fight correctly. Get in formation.
This was the worst raid ever.
So what are you waiting for? Download Raid Shadow Legends today. And of course, thanks so much to Raid for sponsoring today's video.
And next thing they know, they're captured and brought to Baboon.
Well, what have you brought for Big Papa?
Finally, Skunk has come down from his revenge high and realizes this needless pursuit of retaliation just made him act rashly and foolishly. And now he's captured in a cage, like an animal.
I'm such a fool. If I didn't want revenge so badly, we wouldn't be in such trouble. You should have tried to stop me.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Baboon is amazed at the success of his ninja monkey army and excited about the rewards this will reap for him.
You've made me proud. Very proud. Dragon will be so pleased. As your reward, I'm gonna give you the greatest prize ever. Nothing in this world is more cherished. It is more valuable than gold and more precious than life itself.
He offers a slice of cake to the monkey who caused all this. And obviously, this monkey then brings the pastry to gloat mockingly at the duo.
Is that what you got for catching us? Pie?
Skunk is about to do it. He's really about to do it.
Revenge is mine!
But for some reason, he doesn't. Maybe because monkey tears are really, really sad in person.
Do it! Do it! What are you waiting for? Stop it!
This isn't right. Revenge isn't gonna bring back my green tea cake. The only thing revenge has brought me is trouble.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard!
Skunk realizes something in the midst of his captivity. Rabbit is furious about this.
How could you not? After all we went through?
For good reason. Compassion isn't what he signed up for. But he doesn't have a lot of time to be upset because this monkey unlocks the gate allowing them out. Now they can work with the monkeys and start a revolution to finally make all creatures equal under the sun. Wait, he's squashing it. He's squashing the cake. Yeah, he's stepping on it. Oh, he's absolutely annihilating that pastry, man. He is bashing that cake. The duo run because a truce is completely out of the picture now. Not seeing a direct escape route, they run into the one enclosed room here. These two are idiots.
Stupid. 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 Stupid.
This is clearly not an exit. I'm sure they didn't blindfold you when they brought you to this camp of theirs. There's probably an exit sign somewhere. These monkeys don't speak the same language as Baboon. I'm sure there's at least a symbol to identify the way out, the bathroom, and the common quarters. You would not want to mix those couple things up. However, the room the two stumble into is actually the pie room, essential for any evil base. Baboon overhears the sound of pie consumption, and like the angel that announced Jesus' return, Baboon moves the rock. And of course, a pie fight ensues. And then a callback to the opening scene and the board breaking match to see who won the cake. The two break the boards of the gate and make their getaway. Probably invest in metal bars instead of wooden ones, when the heroes are literally training to break boards. Just an idea. Baboon tries to get his troops to follow them, but they're too immersed in the pies from the vault. Yeah, if you didn't hoard all your sweets in a cave, fed your troops adequately, and gave them a reason to fight other than enslavement because they don't speak the same language as you, they'd probably follow your directions more enthusiastically.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard!
No mind.
For this one, we start out with Panda bringing the troops together. We quickly pan over to Baboon, who is commencing some sort of training with an invisible enemy. That's when Baboon says,
Materialize!
"They're stealth, ninja, monkeys. Cool."
I mean everyone!
Panda then informs the gang that a deadly foe will be showing up. Yeah, just the presence of evil. No pressing details other than that. You could have texted me that generic crap. After being informed of what's going on, Panda begins moving people to particular parts of the valley for their mission.
I'm missing my beauty sleep for this?
You have never seen ninjas like these, Rabbit.
Awesome! I mean, this is an awesomely serious moment, so we should all listen to Panda.
After seeing the incompetence of Skunk's team, he decides where he'll put them. Ox and Bird are content with the placement. Well, for the most part. Skunk, being much more active and drawn towards action, feels mismatched with this group.
This blows!
You said it! What if we have to stay out here until dawn? It's not healthy to get less than 11 hours of sleep a night. That's a proven fact, right, Ox? My point exactly.
Back with Rabbit and Fox from the front lines, they see their first encounter with the invisible monkeys. It isn't long before Crane and Tiger are taken. Tiger, being a coward, isn't even interested in fighting them. Good choice. Next are Hog and Mantis, Frog and Bees, Barnes and Nobles, Dave and Busters. They're taking out the whole squad. Meanwhile, back with the last and final defense, Skunk complains for the second hour straight.
Just because we're the youngest, we never get to be the heroes. So not fair. We've got what it takes, right?
Ox, however, is picking up on a presence that he can only faintly see. He announces this to his friends, to which Bird says,
His first joke. I'm proud of you, buddy.
Ox keeps trying and Bird gives him some additional advice. Advice I refuse to take.
Here come the monkeys.
Since you're new at this, here's a tip, wise guy. A joke's only funny once.
No one believes him until Skunk accidentally does this.
Yeah, right. Where?
How ninja monkeys get invisible?
Ox points out the locations of the monkeys so Skunk is able to take them out. Skunk asks Bird to assist.
Bird, little help?
I'm not really into helping.
Bird?
Sheesh. You owe me one for this.
Wait, where are you?
Great assistance. As the monkeys begin surrounding them, Skunk is met with some backup help from Panda and the other old geezers. The next day, there's a party, and Panda explains what happened to give Ox the upper hand.
Well, the monkey's trick works by using the thoughts in our head to distract us. So, Ox wasn't fooled because, well, Ox doesn't have any thoughts in his head. Masters spend years trying to achieve that state, which is called no mind.
Yeah, well, my buddy can be completely empty-headed without even trying.
So, because he's no thoughts, just vibes, he's able to see invisible monkeys. Sure, that sounds like martial arts wumbo jumbo magic to me. It seems just as realistic as Ryu throwing out a fireball. Turns out Panda isn't even able to use the art of no mind, as Skunk mentions.
Boy, even Panda isn't smart enough to be as dumb as you.
Quite true. Strange as it may sound, the valley's defense rests on Ox's shoulders.
Panda then gives some advice to Skunk, which maybe Panda should have shared with everyone to avoid a future disaster, but then we wouldn't have a show.
Be vigilant for your friend, Skunk. The state of no mind is like the surface of a still lake, quiet and tranquil, yet easily disturbed by the skipping stone of ego.
Gotcha. Don't throw stones in the lake.
So in order to keep Ox's mind empty and to celebrate him, the rest of the warriors begin treating Ox with special treatment.
Those were the days, weren't they, Ox?
Well, Bird,
Don't miss being a lazy good-for-nothing because everyone's counting on us to defend the valley, right?
Bird picks up on what Skunk is doing.
You're just using Ox to get what you want, and that's not right. That's my job.
I appreciate the honesty. Bird is determined to get his stoner friend back that sits around and thinks about nothing other than the next snack they want.
Those were the days, weren't they, Ox?
Eventually getting fed up, Bird decides to fly away again.
I knew nothing good would come out of hanging with a couple of mammals like you. This bird is out of here.
I mean, who cares that he left? Bird's meant to fly away. Skunk then gives Ox a pep talk that has some devastating consequences.
I'm a big cud.
You know it! All right, where is it, Ox?
Huh?
Uh-oh.
After Panda does a quick checkup, it's clear to see what's going on.
There can be no doubt. Your friend is suffering from a swollen head.
Must have been something he ate.
No, I believe it was you.
Me?
You swelled Ox's head with how important he is. And now that it is full of such thoughts, there is no room for no mind. You must be a good friend and destroy Ox's self-esteem.
Oh, that's easy. Let's see how Skunk does this.
You gotta believe that you're a nobody so you can be the big hero and save the valley. Got it?
The invisible monkeys are in the valley. We need our hero.
He's no hero.
What? Of course Ox is a hero. They're here. Hurry, Ox. Only you can... Let's go. We're falling down.
Not well. Bird returns and offers some pivotal advice. It's upon hearing his friend's word that Ox has a revelation.
Skunk, Ox isn't cut out to be no hero. He's not supposed to have a care in the world or a thought in his head. Me and him are just unimportant nobodies. Always have been, always will be.
Unimportant nobodies? You're...
Totally right.
Yeah.
No one knows quite how to bring down your self-esteem like your best friend.
I told you so.
Ox has his powers returned and the monkey clobbering can commence once again. The trio was celebrated for working together, only for Skunk to attempt to stop this while he reiterates the lessons he learned.
Wait! Stop! Stop! I learned something today.
I'll finish his thought. The lesson was to shit on your friend's dream. If they have no ambition or real skills, no, don't tell them to better themselves. Tell them to hope that one day an evil invisible monkey army will arrive to kill everyone, and the world will need to depend on them. Wait for that moment and live a thoughtless and directionless life to prepare yourself for the inevitable. Thank you for your service.
I told you so.
So, we actually got quite a few lessons out of this old bear. Well, most of them didn't really come from Panda until the very end, when the situation was handled, but it's the thought that counts. Let's go over some of the key lessons we're sure to never forget. From the art of attitude, we learned that if we puff out our chests and live a lifestyle we can't back up, we should at least bring an additional oxygen tank. Because in a competition between puffed up chests, it's the one who needs air first who loses. And you won't catch me lacking. I'm finna yoink this from the local old folks home. From the art of revenge, we learned that peace is a waste of time. Wage war, be devious, and steal. Everyone else is doing it. And if you don't do it, the one you trust the most may steal that very opportunity from you. We learned from the art of no mind to not think. There's no point to do so. Why? To waste your potential to save the world? Trust me, trust me, trust me. I haven't thought in weeks.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
We learned that this show is not too much like Kung Fu Panda, other than they both protect some place in China. Both have to focus on martial arts, and both protagonists are loving and competent prodigies. Although, Po would devastate Skunk in a 1v1. I mean, when you think about an animated idea for a Kung Fu creature set in China, this is like the first archetype that comes to mind. It's not the most original thing. I think Skunk Fu is already more of a creative take on the subject matter because it didn't use a panda. They used the next best thing. But that's creativity if ever I saw it. But obviously, Kung Fu Panda just has much more to grasp in terms of engaging content. It looks better, sounds better, and the stories have more weight. Not just the movies, I mean the shows as well. That's obvious though, right? One of these was handled by a huge studio while the other was not. I think for what Skunk Fu was trying to be, it succeeded. It's a story about a young student learning the ways of the world, combat, and friendships alongside other martial artists and his Kung Fu master. It obviously could use more time into the character creation, development, and interactions. I also think the show would have been 1,000 times more interesting if it was narrative driven, but whatever. Starting with the character creation, one of the biggest issues with the design is that they're all naked, which is weird because they own clothes. But it also takes away from anything defining about these guys. Clothes aren't just what we wear to feel comfortable, they describe us. They show us who we are, what we like, and what we feel comfortable in. It's a very surface level descriptor, but one nonetheless. Skunk Fu misses out on that by disregarding clothes, and they're missing out on quite a bunch. Can you imagine these characters decked out in older Chinese military gear or variants of that? Would be kind of sick. And that's not to say that all animated characters need to be clothed, because you can also have a lot of interesting design with characters that don't utilize clothing, as we see in Kung Fu Panda with Mantis, for example. Mantis has detailed art on the back of his exoskeleton to showcase that Chinese painting style. This problem is only made worse because the characters have such memorable names such as Skunk, Dragon, Fox, and Ox. Kung Fu Panda isn't much better with characters like the Furious Five, but come on, you miss out on making the story something that'll stay with people. Although I see the benefit of having easily remembered names for young audiences, but kids aren't dumb. They remember SpongeBob's weird ass name. They remember the name Kakashi, and that's not even most of their first language. Though the interactions between some characters work, like Skunk and Rabbit, who have the best relationship in the show, their dynamic feels genuine, and I wish we had more episodes where we got to see Rabbit be more open with his feelings.
Give it back! I need to express my feelings!
Good one.
As well as handle some of his own personal struggles. Maybe seeing Rabbit struggle with not being the toughest, or being taught by Panda and wanting to go out on his own. We need some of his Racer X moments. But this relationship is an outlier. Skunk barely talks to anyone else in the show except for a sentence or two. They don't have much more of a character than an archetype such as Old Woman or Weird Frog, or we know how Fox is treated. Can you believe that this show almost got a movie? So yeah, this show leaves a ton to be desired, but I don't feel like my entire day was wasted, so that's a plus. If you remembered Skunk Fu and enjoyed this, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Remember, don't think, don't listen to people who puff out their chests, and don't surprise skunks. You won't like what you find. Be happy, be healthy, and be kind to someone. I'll see you later.
Da